What's up, everyone? This is Fang slash VA here coming at you with a new video. And before I tell you what we're doing, well, what we're talking about today, I just want you all to know that Mizu couldn't record with me for today. She's sick currently, so she's trying to get better. Hopefully, maybe she'll be better by next Friday. We'll see, Obviously, everyone fights off illness differently. Some people get over it faster, some people get over it slow. So yeah, definitely put some good thoughts and prayers down below in the comments for her to feel better. I don't know why I worded that so weirdly. So yeah, I have recently, ironically, I did that 90s gaming video, which did poorly on the channel, but that's fine. That's to be expected with me branching out more and all that. And if I need to, I'll move some of this content over to the DDC channel if need be. Hopefully not. I would love to keep doing these type of videos every week. But obviously, I know that's not why my channel has the following that it has. I understand that perfectly. There's nothing wrong with a creator with doing something different, but still in the vein of the subject of their channel. It's not like I'm talking about sports or politics or history all of a sudden. Although technically on the channel I do talk about the history of video games from time to time. But anyways, that's besides the point. I'm not sure if I already said this, but if you're new here, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Definitely make sure to hit that bell button to know to basically know when, you all know what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, like I said, I dropped that video talking about 90s gaming because of playing Super Mario RPG and just watching videos on 90s gaming. I've just been in a 90s gaming nostalgia mood. Doesn't matter what console it is, doesn't matter what game it is. If it's 90s, I'm like, yeah, I want to play that. Especially if it's a game I grew up with. Which, fun fact, I never grew up with Super Mario RPG. My first RPG was actually Pokemon Silver, actually. But like I said in that remake, well, not remake, like I said in that video, I'm really enjoying Super Mario RPG, and I actually finished beating the story last night. Yesterday, and I realized something after I got done. I was actually going to start going around and collecting everything that I missed. And then I did research, and as it turns out, there are missable enemies that, unfortunately, you can't really get added to the journal with, like, its weaknesses and all that, because, as you know, Mello has that ability to where you can see what they're thinking, you can see what their weaknesses are, which is where Paper Mario and Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door got that from, actually. And I just came to this realization. I'm actually content with just beating the story. I haven't thought this way with a game in who knows how long. I was content. And the reason why I say that is because I'm a completionist. And I'm also a perfectionist. So those two mindsets can get very overwhelming for me if it's a game that I'm trying to not just 100% complete, but I'm also trying to 100% complete it on my first playthrough. Which is a bad combination, which is no wonder why I was starting to slowly start to dislike video games. Because I wasn't able to turn off the perfectionist side of my brain. I've always been a perfectionist. You know, I always want to get it done the first time, and unfortunately, life isn't like that. But after, like I said, after beating the story, I was content. And like I told Mizu, well, I'll just do a 100% completion run in the future. Now, obviously, there's still some stuff I can do on my main file, but honestly, I wanted to experience the story. I'm pretty sure I basically experienced maybe about 90% of the game, really, except for the stuff I missed and, you know, completing all the mini games and jump challenges and all that. But I will do that in the near future, hopefully on stream. And the perfect comparison I can make to this is actually from the Pixar movie Ratatouille. And there's the scene, now obviously for copyright reasons, you know, I can't post clips, but I can explain it, to where you have the critic, and he's pretty much already expecting to have the typical experience at Gustav's. And, well, Remy decides to make this dish that you wouldn't see in a 5-star restaurant called Ratatouille. They bring out the dish to the critic. He starts eating it, and then if there's a flashback to his childhood to where he comes home, you know, he sniffles because he's probably getting sick, and his mother provides him with a stew. And that's what Ratatouille reminded him of. And at that point, he basically stopped being a critic. He was just enjoying the food. And then, I mean, obviously he did his review, which was a super positive review. But the point here I'm saying is that sometimes, and I basically finally learned this from playing Super Mario RPG, I don't always need to 100 complete a game if I'm satisfied with my experience already. And it took me back to when I grew up. Well, when I was growing up, I never cared about getting everything in a game, which actually drove some people in my family nuts because I just wanted to play through the game. I mean, as a kid, you're just happy to be playing the game. You don't care about collecting everything. And I've come to realize that no wonder why my backlog got so large. It's not because I was getting too many games. I mean, my backlog is pretty manageable, actually. It's because it's the perfectionist side of me that wants me to complete it as soon as I start playing it. And there are many gamers that are perfectly okay with just playing through the game and not collecting everything. To be honest, I might start doing research if it's even worth 100% completing a game or not. Just to, you know, save me enough time, I guess. You know, this whole experience has taught me a valuable lesson. It has taught me that I had to pull back from that part of me that wanted me to complete it on the first day. Because at the end of the day, video games are meant to be fun. They're not meant to be work. They're not meant to be a chore. And video games basically became that way for me. Because I needed to 100% complete everything. Even in my God of War streams I've been doing on Twitch, I haven't been worrying about 100% completing everything. You know, if I can't figure something out when it came to those runic chests, that you have to search for the runes. Like some of them you have to throw the axe at it. Some of them are 3 bells. Some of them you have to turn these signs and all that. And I'm like, okay, well, I can just come back and do everything later, because as it turns out, there's stuff I can't get anyways because I have to get farther in the game. And I'm sure that there's post-game content. I'm sure that there is. So even with God of War, I'm learning to, you know, it's okay to just complete everything after you're done with the main story. And I'm sure that there's New Game Plus. So eventually I'll have to play through God of War 2018 with that too. But one thing at a time, as they say. You know, like right now, I've actually started up a new file on Sonic Superstars. Because unfortunately, the Switch wasn't the version I was wanting to play first. But I'm actually having a blast playing it. Which, just in case people are wondering my first impressions on it, I like it. Do I like it as much as Mania? No. Do I like it more than Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2? Yes. So, probably in the near future, I might have to redo my Sonic tier list video. And maybe this time, have like Mizu help me with it and all that. You know, once she's better, of course. And, you know, it's just one of those things to where these games aren't going anywhere. Why do I have to worry about just completing them on my first playthrough? And I know that there's people out there that they complete a game, you know, without getting everything, and then like they decide to come back maybe like a year or maybe a few months after to 100% complete it. And I know that some of you may tell me, well, yeah, because that's, you know, the first time you play through a game, you're not going to know if, you know, you're not going to know what to do. You know, a first playthrough, you're literally learning the mechanics of a game. So naturally, that first playthrough is more of just a casual, fun experience through it. Now, yes, there are people that do 100% complete games during their first playthrough. But there's also people that wait till they decide to do a second run, which I plan on doing that with Super Mario RPG. This has actually inspired me to get out my Super Nintendo Classic and actually play the original version on there. Because honestly, you know, Super Mario RPG inspired Paper Mario and the Mario and Luigi series. So, to many people that grew up with Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, to them, that's like the gold standard when it comes to Mario RPGs. But yet, clearly, and I know that they know this, a lot of those mechanics came from Super Mario RPG. And I think that's why I love, well, not love because I'm still new to the Mario RPG games a little bit. You know, that's why I've always had a big interest in them, because I love their charm. I just said, I love their charm. I love what these devs have done with these games. You know? Like, Super Mario RPG is different than Paper Mario. Paper Mario is different than the Mario and Luigi series. And yet, all three of them share DNA. And that DNA goes back to Super Mario RPG, but obviously Super Mario RPG, it goes back to Square's, you know, um, RPGs at the time, like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest. I'm pretty sure Dragon Quest was a Squaresoft game, I think. Or was Dragon Quest Enix? Before they merged into Square Enix. Let me double check on this. Uh, by the way, it's looking like it was Enix. Yeah, it was Enix that started the Dragon Quest series, not Square. Okay. But, it's just amazing on what you can do with these iconic characters if it's done well. You know, a lot of these platforming characters can actually work as RPGs. Now, naturally, there are some that failed. Like obviously, the Spiral action RPG that was on the DS didn't really do well. Sonic Chronicles and The Dark Brotherhood has mixed reception. So pretty much some people love it, some people don't. I've never played it, even though I should. Um, and once again, like I said, this just proves more and more that turn-based combat can still work nowadays. So what? So what if like the newer generation is so used to action based and maybe these companies like here's the thing. If they did not see that turn-based combat could still work, that's why Dragon Quest hasn't well, that's why Dragon Quest hasn't changed their gameplay style. Now, I know that people are worried about Dragon Quest 12 doing that, but I'm not going to say anything about that until we get more information on that game. Which, if it is action based, I'm going to be extremely disappointed in Square Enix, because that's the one genre that people actually agree. Well, correction, that's the one series that RPG fans actually agree on that it should not change direction at all when it comes to the gameplay. That's also why, that's also why we have games like Octopath Traveler 1 and 2. These turn-based RPGs still work. It's just the problem is that, people always need to have something to do nowadays. For me, what I love about turn-based RPGs is that they're relaxing to me. I mean, they take some brain power, sure, but they're fun, chill games. Not everything has to be like, action. And hopefully soon, maybe Final Fantasy 17 could go back to its roots a little bit. But because of the success of Final Fantasy 16, who knows? But that's the thing about Final Fantasy, right? They're always changing the gameplay style. So who knows what they're going to do. But yeah, you guys, that's it for this video. I just wanted to discuss how basically Super Mario RPG has taught me a very valuable lesson when it comes to completing games. And the basic thing is that it's perfectly okay just to play through a game and get through the story. And you know what? The game will always be here. I can always do a 100 complete run on a game later on. And that's perfectly okay. So, anyways, you guys, remember to do everything I said in the beginning of the video. Check out all my links to where you can connect with me. And I hope you all have a very great weekend. And also, too, I hope if any of you are going to be impacted by the winter storm, I hope you all stay warm and safe. And I'll be seeing you on Monday with the first video of the week. So anyways, guys, take care.